Welcome to Wrap It Up Sports Medicine and More, the podcast that gives you a viewpoint on sports medicine that can't be found anywhere else. I'm your host, Eli Halleck, and we have a fantastic show ahead of us today. So let's get started. Welcome to Wrap It Up Sports Medicine and More. I'm your host today, Eli Halleck. Today we have a former student of mine, former athlete of mine. We got to watch him move forward in his career path and watch him play on TV every now and then. Currently, he has an outstanding career, something that I respect and many others respect. And at the same time, boy, he's got a little sidebar that he does just for fun, and the physicality of it is just fun to watch. So we'd like to welcome today Andrew Rojas. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, Coach. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for being here, man. This is awesome. I've been waiting for this one for a while. Our producer's been bugging the living bejeez out of me to get you on here, and I finally remembered to text you and see if you were available. So thanks for working this out. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
So, a little bit about yourself, if you want to go ahead and tell us your career path right now and where you started in football, and just a quick synopsis of how you got to where you're at now.
Okay. Pretty much started football in high school with you guys over at St. Francis. Funny little sidebar starting there is I had no knowledge of football. I remember my freshman year, I guess one of our first padded practices, they put me up on the offensive line and I tackled the defensive lineman in front of me, not knowing any of the rules or anything like that, and just thinking that that's what I was supposed to do. So quickly learned that wasn't the case.
I wish I would
Um,
have saw that play. That would have been
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. So that's pretty much where my start was. Very green. I was a lot bigger than a lot of the kids in my class, and I'm glad that my coaches put me on the offensive line where I kind of made it my home, and played offensive line throughout my career. Played at Washington State as an offensive lineman, and even one season in the Arena Football League for the Spokane Shock.
I remember
Um,
watching that. Yeah, that was fun.
After that, I started my career in law enforcement. I graduated Washington State with a criminal justice degree, and I have been with the county for 10 years now. 10 years this year, which is kind of crazy to say, but
That's gone
it
quick.
hasn't felt yeah, it hasn't felt that long. I've been on the county for 10 years, and the little kind of side hobby I'm doing now is jujitsu. I've actually kind of fully immersed myself into it.
I was going
Um,
to say it's not a side
yeah,
hobby from what I
yeah,
see online, man.
yeah,
You are
uh,
traveling, going everywhere, and not doing too poorly either.
yeah, doing pretty well. This will be my third year. Just recently promoted to my purple belt. It's been crazy. Actually, a bunch of my coworkers that I worked with earlier on in my career, who I haven't seen in a while, asked me if I'm still on the department because all they see is jujitsu, which is pretty funny too.
Well, I'll be
Uh,
honest, I was starting to wonder, is he gone full time? So,
yeah,
I get that.
yeah. So I'm really proud of my accomplishments there because I'm so new to the game. In my blue belt, I climbed the blue belt master one ranks all the way to the number one ultra heavyweight in the world in IBJJF, and then number two at my highest overall blue belt master one. I ended up right as I promoted. I ended up at number three overall, but still finished number one in my division, my weight division. So I got a few major titles under my belt so far, and plenty more that I aspire to get.
I know that's not your only passion. You have a few, but then you also have a wonderful family. So if you want to give a little nod to everybody in the fam, that this is the time.
Yes, sir. My beautiful wife and my two beautiful daughters. My wife's name is Claire. She actually just recently graduated with her BSN. She's been working at Loma Linda Children's Hospital in the NICU the last, I want to say, 6 months.
That's
Or she started,
fabulous.
yeah, 6 7 months. and she's doing great. My two girls are turning 9 and 7 now, so pretty exciting. Time goes by way too fast.
So what you're saying is, you and your wife are both in service related careers, both
Yes, sir.
helping others.
Yes, sir.
That's kind of cool. I love the graduation. I saw it online. It looked like a really cool ceremony. I could barely see her with all the flowers. You
Yeah,
know, it was it's
that's a Hawaiian tradition. She grew up in Hawaii on Oahu, and that's a tradition that they have over there where they pretty much cover every graduate with leis and have
well,
a bunch of decorations and all that stuff.
well, they accomplished their goal because I could barely see her. It was awesome. I was like, oh, that looks so cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's get talking about some of the stuff that we went through over the years that I've seen you go through and just see where this goes. You came in as a freshman, and like you said, you were just a little bit bigger than others. You probably towered over the other linemen by about 6 inches, I would guess. You had a few pounds on them. You were a big boy. With that, the coaches identified you pretty quick as a potential athlete. And if I remember correctly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, when we went to playoffs, you got pulled up as a freshman, correct?
I did
Or
not. So I think they invited me to come to like the games, but I never suited up.
did you participate in practices though?
Yes,
Okay.
I participated in practice, but I didn't officially get called up until the off season going into my sophomore year.
I don't know if you realize this, but you are the first lineman that way back when we put into custom braces. And this is a little
Yeah,
shout out to my boy over at Donjoy. We had a definitive need for you as we saw you come in and knew you were going to be a pretty good athlete. The first thing I noticed, and I hope you don't mind me talking about this, was your knees.
yeah, don't mind at
Um,
all. Yeah,
yeah, your knees are a little for those of us that know what we're talking about, valgus. And that means in regular term, knock knee, they kind of go towards each other. And in the line, that could be dangerous.
hmm
And we communicated, we talked. Remember talking to your parents and you about it and going, we need to get you in some braces. But because they were so angled, we actually had to get custom ones, not cheap off the shelf things. And I didn't know what to do. A younger AT, I was sitting there going, huh. And I remembered I had a former intern that then worked at Don Joy, and I called him, I'm like, buddy, I need some help. And he's like, sure. They're about 1,500 bucks a piece. Yeah, that little chuckle
yeah,
you just gave, I'm like, mom and dad ain't gonna be able to do that. And because of you, I don't know if you know this, they gave us a pretty hefty discount. We were able to get two for you, which protected you for the next couple
Mhm.
of years as you got bigger until we had to put you in new ones. They created around that idea a high school path where high school athletes can basically pay for a brace almost at cost. And I don't know if you knew that came from us putting braces on you back in the day as an athletic trainer talking to an intern that was then at Donjoy. It's like two ATs got together and went, look, we need to take care of kids. How could we do it? All because of your knees. They created a pathway for kids to get knee braces.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
And a shout out to my boy Nick over there at Donjoy. Haven't seen him in a while, but he's designed some really cool braces over the years. You've had your, how shall we put it, trials and tribulations on the field. And quite often, when you were in high school, it was me. When it was college, it was somebody else. But how did you feel when you had an athletic trainer on your sideline helping you out, either during an injury as it occurred or even post while you were getting rehab? How did that mindset help by having that person there?
Having for sure having you there in high school, I know a lot of athletes at the high school level aren't as lucky to have someone like you on their sideline.
Oh, I
And
appreciate that, buddy. Thank you.
yeah, of course. And then going up to the college level with Bill Drake and Brian Olkey, our head athletic trainers for Washington State's football team. it's great having you guys on the sideline because you know that you're not gonna have that hesitation. I guess you could say you're not gonna hold back because you know that if something were to happen, you got people there to take care of you. And so that's kind of how I looked at it. If if something were to happen, like if I were to dislocate a finger or something small that I could play through, someone's there to take care of me, and that for sure was the case.
And we always hope for something small so you could get it taken care of, get right back out on the field and have some fun because that's really what we do. We're just trying to get you out there and let you enjoy your time on the field.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Now, when you were up at Washington State, I know you had a uh, couple issues medically. How did it evolve and how did they take care of you up there?
Okay, so that was a crazy. I don't even know. We still to this day don't know how that evolved. We think that it stemmed from like a, I guess, foodborne illness where pretty much my liver and my kidneys stopped functioning properly.
Holy
Um,
smoke.
yeah, but and it was great. Shout out to Dr. Ed Smith. He pretty much took care of me. He was one of the resident doctors on staff,
Thanks, Doc
and
Smith.
yeah, he saved my life. I honestly don't believe that I would be here had he not. He was with me the whole time, and it was a crazy 3 month span of just being super super sick where we were trying to reach out to specialists. I even saw some had an appointment to go see some specialists down in UCLA, and he was looking into sending me over to the Mayo Clinic just so we could figure out what was going on. And
Wow.
well, basically, my numbers, my creat, I can't remember what toxins were really high in my body, but yeah, we couldn't figure out what was causing it until finally, I think it was like by the end of the third month, the numbers started gradually dropping, and then finally, it resolved itself on its own. But it was crazy. I was getting blood drawn every day. My skin was like leather where they were drawing blood, but something that had to be done. They even took a biopsy of my liver just to see if I had cancer, stuff like that. But
Oh
everything came
man.
back normal. Yeah. Uh,
Your parents must have been beside themselves at that point.
yeah, yeah. They and it's crazy because I was up at school, so I couldn't even be with them. Being that far away is, I know, it's tough on them for sure. Luckily for me, my position coach Harold Etheridge and his wife Miss Jeannie took care of me like I was one of their own kids, and they were great.
That's fantastic. It's always nice when you have that surrogate family set up in the coaching arena because you never know. We've talked about this with other former athletes, and it all comes down to the person themselves. If you can get a good coach who really empathizes and sympathizes and wants to be more than a coach, wants to be almost like your surrogate dad, and in this case, his wife as a surrogate mom. You guys are so far from home. You're a few states away. You're used to being around family, and all of a sudden you're super sick and you need somebody taking care of you. You got the medical staff, of course. Shout out to the doc that helped you out that entire time. But having a little empathetic family like people around you has to be really helpful in that those trying times,
For sure,
for
for sure.
sure. Now, football. You are loving it. You're having a blast in high school.
Mm.
I know you had a few offers, and what made you go with Wazoo, Washington
Um,
State?
it was the Pac-10. Honestly, looking back now, I don't regret going to Washington State. My only regret was not taking all my trips, my official visits as a as a recruit.
Going and
Um,
have some fun. I got you.
yeah, I took my trip. It was actually during my senior season. I can't remember what week it was, but I remember I ended up leaving after one of our. It was an away game. I left after an away game, and my trip was shorter than everyone else's because everyone else skipped that game, their high school game, and then went and took their trip.
What?
But yeah, yeah, and it was when Washington State played USC at home in Pullman. It was super close game, and they ended up losing it, unfortunately. But hearing the offensive line coach's like passion as he was talking to his guys, man, that drew me to that school, and then hanging out with the guys afterwards, man, it felt like family, and it showed. That offensive line coach's name is George Yarno. Rest in peace. He passed away a while back, but he was great. I love that. I love that man. He brought so much passion to the game, and he was actually very similar to Coach Shepard's coaching style. Shout out to Coach Shep.
Yes. Coach Shep, I remember him. From Washington State, you spent 4 years there. 4 or 5, I'm sorry.
It was 4.5. I ended up redshirting the year that I got sick. So I played my true freshman and true sophomore years, and then I ended up redshirting, and then played the 2 years after that.
Now, after that, you went on to play a little, which back in the day, arena football was a lot different than it is now. It was almost like the next step development league for the NFL. How'd you end up doing that? And
It was pretty cool actually. I got hit up by their general manager. I guess they were looking at picking up guys from like more local colleges, universities, and since Spokane was right there, just an hour 20 away from Pullman, gave me a shot. I did a tryout, and they picked me up, so it's pretty cool.
not surprising. I mean, technique's great. Your size was perfect. Why only 1 year? Why not a couple more?
You know what? I ended up getting hurt after or getting yeah, I got hurt preparing to start my second season.
I
And
did not know that. What happened?
yeah, I think it was I got a high ankle sprain doing some off-season drilling and all that stuff, and I ended up actually going up to Spokane thinking that I was going to get re-signed right away, and just kind of jump in, but the injury kind of held me back. They ended up moving forward with someone else, which kind of showed me the business side of football even more so than the college level,
Yeah.
which kind of just turned me off of it because I got hurt training to get ready for them, and that's kind of what kind of turned me off of it. And it's a good thing because then from there I kind of just shift gears and focus on my law enforcement career from there.
So straight from after that injury, which obviously high ankle sprains, as we all know, for those of us in the healthcare field, they take a little time, especially for the big guys, those linemen that get them. They take a little while to get back, full motion, full strength, lots of pain. It's a painful sprain, to say the
Yeah.
least. And we see it so much with the linemen, the offensive linemen, that you got to know what to do, how to do it, and it takes a while to rehab and get you back. Then you just change directions, go into law
Yes.
enforcement.
Well, going back to the arena league, I think you'd find this interesting because it's something that I guess all of us as football players, it's been drilled into us is to fight through. Are you hurt or are you injured? And
Oh yes, oh yes, we've
yeah,
heard that many
yeah,
times, right?
I am almost certain. I never got X-rays or anything, but I I'm pretty sure that I broke my hand, my right hand, during one of the games. I think it was either my first or second game in Spokane, and man, I just taped the crap out of it and put some
Of course you
put some
did.
yeah, it was and it was my snapping hand, which was crazy that I was able to do that, but I didn't want to I didn't want to go off on injury and lose my spot, and that's another thing that I guess that's
Typical
another
athlete,
conversation we
typical
can talk
athlete.
about.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Playing injured. Oh gosh, it happens though. How often? And I won't point any fingers. I won't say you in general or you specific. Excuse me. How often an athlete says, "Oh no, I'm fine. No, no, you don't need to," or does something and they know it might be something, but why go to the athletic trainer? He might keep
Yeah.
me out.
Yep.
It happens. It happens. Unfortunately, we just always hope it's nothing too severe.
Hmm.
And this time it might have been a fracture, you think, huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because I couldn't. My hand hasn't been the same since. I can't fully close it, so I'm
All
pretty sure.
right.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. It's always something. Now,
Okay.
going into law enforcement, from football to law enforcement, do you see any similarities actually?
You know what? More so on patrol. It's eerily similar. The
Really?
brotherhood
Okay.
version of it,
Okay.
because before your shift, everyone's in the locker room changing, and you know how just like in football, after you're all changed out, you go into the meeting room, get with the guys, and then you go out to practice or you go out to the game. And that's kind of how it was on patrol. You see, like everyone on your shift, you get really close to these guys. These are the guys that have your back in the field, and you're changing out. Then you go to your briefing where they tell you what's been going on in the areas you're patrolling, and then you hit the field and you're out there together doing what you got to do. So it's I think I was drawn to the brotherhood of that just because it's been who I was, like in terms of football, and so it kind of just gravitated towards that.
Now, the funny thing is, you come out, you're a sheriff now, correct?
Yes, for LA County.
LA County sheriffs. You come out and we see you. You've overseen a few of our football games, and you're standing there in your outfit, and you're not a tiny guy. I was telling my wife yesterday about this interview, and I was laughing. She's like, "Why are you laughing?" I said, "So Andrew came to a game, and he's standing there not too far from me on the sideline, and the running back gets bumped out of bounds, and I'm sure you remember this.
Yeah.
You see it coming, you take one step back, plant, and he bounces off of you like he just hit, a wall, and just falls to the ground. And we all kind of stood there, and you just helped the kid up. I
Yeah.
just laughed though, because it was like he hit a wall when he hit you. So it's not like you're a small guy. And here you come out of your patrol car, people are looking up at you, but you're like one of the nicest kids I know. And I say kid, that's you're a little bit older than a kid. How do you take your physical stance? I mean, you're so big, and actually make people in the community comfortable talking to you.
I think it's all in delivery and your personality. You have to let your personality shine through. Just because you look a certain way doesn't necessarily mean you have to be that intimidating person, I guess.
Well, dude, once you
Uh,
start talking, I think
yeah.
everybody realizes a nice person you are.
Oh,
So,
thank you, thank you. Yeah, that's why I think I try to smile as much as possible. Just kind of be friends with everyone, and when I got to handle business, I got to handle business. It takes a lot for me, and I purposely did it this way, where I this is kind of how I approach things. Is it takes a lot for me to have to get physical with somebody. I'll try to talk them down as much as possible, or get them to do what I need them to do, so everyone's safe. But once I have to go hands on, then I have to go hands on. And you've done something that forced me to do that, and it's not like I'm jumping to that. So it takes a while for me to get to that point, and essentially, once I do have to get hands on, it's because it's needed for everyone's safety.
and the interesting thing is, if you have to get hands on, and we're going to take this over into your other passion right now,
Mhm.
um, that individual doesn't know what he's up against. I mean,
Yeah.
physically, you're a specimen, but he doesn't know that whole jujitsu side of you. So, how does your expertise in jujitsu benefit in those kind of situations?
And you know what? It's great. And for anyone in law enforcement, or for anyone who needs to at any point control someone, I would recommend jujitsu. Or you know what? I would recommend jujitsu just for anyone, because it teaches you how to deal with being in uncomfortable situations and how to deal with it, both mentally and physically.
Well, that's
In
fantastic. That
Yeah,
that seems like a perfect combination for an officer or a sheriff, law
yeah.
enforcement in general.
So for sure, being able to control someone and learning how to control someone properly without having to go to fists or actually fist fighting with somebody. It's great because it puts less risk on you and the person you're making contact with. So I really like it. It puts less risk overall. Once you control someone, you control them, and then you can safely detain them and do whatever you need to do. But
Yeah,
it doesn't have to end in a fight or a higher use of force.
that's good. Now, when you say control, I presume there are different meanings of control. What would be a really good example of what you're talking about?
For example, we get calls for service that people aren't supposed to be certain places, like there's restraining orders and things like that. When you
Which
have to make an
which already is a not a great situation to be walking into.
yes, correct. When you are there, a call for service, and someone has to go to jail, not too many people are happy about having to go to jail. So some people resort to fighting to try to get away, and that unfortunately that's just when a lot of the fights happen are on calls for service. When people do that, since learning jujitsu, it's been great. Just instead of fighting, I guess not fighting back with them with fists, I'm able to just control them, take them down, control them, and detain them without ever having to throw a punch.
Which in all honesty is probably a better situation being able to control because it de-escalates it probably a lot quicker and a lot safer,
Yes,
huh?
yeah. So it's not a long drawn out fight. It's just a quick takedown, and I'm able to use my body weight and their limbs to control them, and it's just safer overall in general.
Oh, that's good to know. Maybe that is something that other people should take up. Elevate your knowledge, ignite your curiosity, and compete with the best minds at events hosted by the American Academic Competition Institute. AACI's sports medicine competitions feature practical exercises, challenging quizzes, specialty tests, and keynote speakers that foster knowledge and social engagement in healthcare and sports medicine. Go to aacitest.org for more information on upcoming regional and national competitions. Sign up for the ultimate intellectual showdown. One thing I always remember about you, and I'm sure this has helped you a lot in both your career and your jujitsu passion, mental toughness. You've always been a very mentally tough young man. What are some of the mental health practices that you use to stay focused or resilient throughout your athletic career and even today in your professional career?
I would say that the biggest thing is, I guess it deals with integrity. I guess it's been hammered into us since we were little. It's what you pretty much what you do when no one's watching. So are you gonna still train hard when you're by yourself and no one's looking at you, you're not getting attention? I think doing the things that need to be done behind the scenes play a huge part because not everyone is willing to do that. In terms of training, everyone loves training. Just like in football, everyone loves playing the game of football, but is everyone willing to put in the work in the weight room or on the field doing conditioning and all that stuff and eating properly and getting proper sleep? Those are all big things that you don't see on social media and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I think that's a huge thing.
they want the glory of the moment, but all the work that goes in beforehand sometimes doesn't really get done.
Yes, sir.
I remember that was not an issue with you. We had some frequent flyers in the sports medicine clinic that would miraculously become injured right before running, right before sprints at the end, right before any type of physical endurance workout that was going to happen. But that was never you. If you were in the medical clinic, there was something going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like I told you earlier, I just didn't want to miss any time, I guess in fear of losing my spot. It's always been a thing. I
You just want to
started
play.
Yeah, it started yeah, when I first came up to varsity, didn't want to lose my spot to an older guy. And then from then on, just kind of, it's always like, I got to keep pushing because I don't want these guys to catch me, you know?
But that's a great attitude to have, no matter whether
Yeah.
it's on the field or in your career. You want to be the best possible. You want to be better than the other guy.
Hmm.
So, but I've also seen you turn and use that to help others become better.
Yes.
And I'm sure you do that. That probably followed you not just through high school where I saw it, but I'm sure that carried on into Washington State and then even what you're doing now, right?
Yeah, I actually I enjoy teaching the knowledge that's been passed on to me. I have no problem giving that information and sharing it with someone who's newer and less experienced. Because I guess in my past experience, the better the guys are around you, the better you become. So I've always kind of used that mantra and try to make the guys around me better as well.
That's a great mantra to follow because if you have good people around you, you can become a better person yourself, no matter whether that's career wise or just interpersonal. That's a great way to live.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Looking back on everything and thinking about what you've done over the years, what's the one thing you're most proud of so far in your early career?
Career in terms of law enforcement.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say the biggest accomplishment would be getting signed off patrol training at Century Station.
Now, for
Um,
those of us that
yeah,
are lay people and not
yeah.
in the field, what does that mean?
Patrol training for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department is probably one of the toughest forms of training in terms of long hours, taking a lot of calls and doing pretty much doing everything as a trainee with your training officer because they want to give you the volume so that you're comfortable with everything. So that coupled with the stress of not knowing certain things because you're still learning is a very stressful position to be in. And going to one of the busiest stations in LA County down in South Central at Century Station, some of the best men and women work down there. It's a very special place. I'm proud to say that Century Station deputy.
Now, I gotta be honest, one of the things that I found really neat was one day you came by the campus to say hello to guys, and just because you were in the area, and I noticed you had a much shorter
Oh, yeah.
partner with you, and it kind of caught me off guard. I thought you guys just kind of met up, and your partner was actually a alum as well, somebody you knew from high school.
Yes, sir.
How
Anthony
did
Pena.
that happen?
So now we're no longer at our patrol stations. I
Oh,
work
that's too bad. That was
Yeah,
always fun.
yeah, I worked Century Station and Pena worked Temple Station. So we never worked the field together until we came to a smaller unit. It's called Community Partnerships Bureau for the Crime Impact Team. When there was an opening, I immediately put his name in because I wanted to get in the patrol car with them so we could work together. So I dropped his name in the hat, and luckily he was chosen to come. And I think we were able to work with each other for a couple months where it was every day we were partners. As luck would have it, we got moved to different teams, so we don't work together anymore, but we still see each other every so often.
That was so cool to see Sheriff Pena and then Sheriff Rojas together as a tag team. And
Yeah.
just two great guys from St. Francis High School that I'll always remember. But to see you guys together and finding out you were partners kind of just was really neat. I mean, how often does that happen?
It doesn't happen a lot, and it's a little funny story. I don't know if he wants me to share this, but our
Ah,
freshman
go
year,
go ahead anyway. Yeah,
yeah,
just go ahead.
sorry, Pena. Yeah, when we were freshmen, and he had that surgery on his calf.
Yep.
Um, I was carrying him around campus all those stairs. I put him on my shoulder and carry him to class.
Oh boy, we got to find a picture of that somewhere.
Yeah,
Because
I don't think anyone caught that, but that's a funny story that we both share. When he had that surgery, I used to take him up and down the steps all over campus to get him to his proper classroom.
so it's almost like Luke Skywalker carrying Yoda around. That would have been heck of a picture or video if we could find it anywhere. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Because for those of you who don't know it, we got a few stairs on our campus. We're built on a hillside, so somebody with a leg issue has problems going up and down, and we get other students helping out, friends all the time, but I've never heard of somebody carrying somebody up and down. So there we go with jujitsu. So I am a novice. I don't know too much. I did a little reading. You are currently a purple belt, as stated earlier. What are the different levels?
You start off as a white belt, then it goes to blue, then purple, then brown, then black. At each belt, you get 4 stripes, which are called, I guess, degrees. So a first degree, second degree, third degree, fourth degree, and then you get your next belt. A lot of that is based off of mat time, how well you're picking up the techniques, how well you're able to use the techniques or apply the techniques in a live scenario, in a spar or in competition. Pretty much like your overall attitude towards the martial art goes into play on promotions as well. I think that's pretty cool because just because you can pick up the techniques, but you have a crappy attitude on the mat and you're kind of an a-hole to your training partners, your professor or your instructor can hold you back.
Well, that's
Yeah,
attitude is a big part,
yeah, and
and it
I
should
think
be.
it's huge because that's what I really love about our academy, which is Alliance Jiu Jitsu in Redlands. Um,
Nice, nice.
we we hold a pretty good emphasis on the traditional, like the traditional teachings of the martial arts. So like if you're stepping onto the mat, you're gonna bow in, certain things like that, or like if you show up late, you're not just gonna jump onto the mat. You're gonna wait for your professor to wave you on. Just little things like that. But it's I think it instills discipline and respect for the history that comes with it.
Now, with all that, the question comes, how did you get into jujitsu and why?
Actually, okay, so it started off because of work. The reasons
Really?
why, yeah, the reasons I started looking towards something to use more control is because, like I said earlier, people people don't necessarily want to go to jail. And before I knew jujitsu, for whatever reason, people wanted to test themselves with me, probably because of my size. And
No
I
offense,
would,
but I look at you and I'm thinking, yeah, yes, sir. No, I'm doing whatever you want, buddy. Yeah, no, I'm not going up against him. So
yeah,
that's
and
kind of interesting.
it was very interesting because my partner at the time was nowhere near my size, and since they knew they were going to be going anyway, they wanted a cool story to tell to the other guys that were in there. Um, but
All right
it
then.
ended up going to going to blows, and knowing myself for the long run, like career survival, fighting someone, fist fighting with somebody isn't a good long term solution for going about my day. I would end up getting hurt or someone getting
That's going
hurt
to
pretty
take a
bad.
toll on you physically or somebody else, and then
Yes.
it's a he said, she said sometimes, and that's not always
Mhm.
great nowadays. And
I agree. And so that was kind of one of the reasons why I started looking into jujitsu, because I wanted to have more tools on my tool belt where I didn't have to fight someone, with my fists. I think that is kind of what opened the opened the door for me. And then once I got on the mat, it was crazy because people way smaller than me, way lighter than me, were controlling me,
you're kidding.
making yeah, making me tap out. And I think just my personality is like, I'm not gonna keep getting beat up by these little dudes. I'm gonna keep showing up until they can't do it anymore. And so that's pretty much what it's been.
That's pretty funny. I'd love to see a little tiny guy take you down. That'd be I think I'd break out in laughter because I've seen what you've done to the big guys. So
Yeah. I have a little bit more knowledge now, so
so it wouldn't happen. Got it. Got it. Now, with that, that must have brought on a lot of discipline to be able to look at it and go, okay, I'm not that good at the moment. And being willing to be disciplined enough to, as you said, return, return, return. How have you seen this help you evolve as not just a sheriff, but as a person?
like I said earlier, I think jujitsu is great because it translates to life in general, right? Because you're not going to show up to something new and be great at it right away, just like it was for football for me, and
So
just
true.
like
Yeah.
just like how it was being a new patrol deputy, not knowing the little ins and outs or being as efficient as I would like to be. You just keep showing up, and eventually things will start clicking, and then next thing you know, you're going to start teaching the new guys. So I think it translates to everything in life. Keep showing up.
Yeah, amen to that. Now you've said teaching a couple times. Are you now helping others learn jujitsu?
Yes, just here and there. I have a couple classes that I teach at the academy. It's more it's more competition based because I compete so much. So I help with teaching some of the teaching the rules pretty much of competition, how to get points, just little tricks that you necessarily wouldn't learn unless someone told you. I feel like that helps the guys be less intimidated of competition. So not only do we do hard training during my class, I'm giving them like little nuggets of information, I guess, that'll help them once
Pearls
they.
of wisdom, right? Little
There you go.
pearls.
Yeah,
There you go. I
that's
like that.
better
Like
than
that.
nuggets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know. It's getting close to lunch. I'm a little hungry, so nuggets
yeah.
sound pretty good to me. So you mentioned training. What kind of training techniques do you incorporate?
We do situational sparring, positional. What I like the most, especially with competition, my biggest thing with competition is whether you win or lose, you have to walk away with something that you can improve on for the next time. So
And that's
I
a great life experience point right
yes.
there. That's a pearl of wisdom right there in itself.
So I try to identify at least one thing or multiple things that I need to work on and focus on that until I stop making the same mistakes for future. So in training, I like to put myself in bad positions. That way I can work my way out of them. So it's kind of like a
Wow.
I guess it's kind of like a chess match. It's a great, I guess, comparison with chess, except as you're using your physical body. You're pretty much giving your opponent a problem to solve. So he's giving you a problem to solve, and you're giving him a problem to solve. And whoever is able to solve that problem quicker wins the position or ends up eventually winning the match. So it's about being a step ahead or trying to set some certain moves up or certain positions up.
You're constantly mentally thinking about what to do physically to score those points and win that match.
Yes, correct.
Now, with that, how do you score points in jujitsu? I have no clue. I'm clueless on this one, and our producer will keep this one in. Whenever I say I'm clueless, he loves that. So,
Okay. IBJJF rules, which is the International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation. It's pretty much the governing body of jiu-jitsu internationally. The way they score points, if you hit a takedown, you get 2 points. I'll just give you the point system. You get 2 points for a takedown, a
okay.
position called neon belly, which is pretty much what it
Knee
is.
on bell. Oh,
Yeah, knee.
KNEE, not
Yeah,
neon like the light. Got it.
no, knee. Yeah, like your knee, my valgus knees.
There we
Uh,
go.
yeah. Uh, if you get to that position and hold it for 3 seconds, you get 2 points. a guard, like a closed guard, when someone has their legs wrapped around your waist, is a that's called a closed guard.
Got it.
If you escape that, or if you pass the guard, you get 3 points.
So for not just an offensive move, but a defensive move, you're scoring too, as well.
It's
Yes and no.
yeah, yes and no, because the guard is an offensive position.
Oh,
Being in someone's
okay,
guard,
okay.
yeah, yeah. So it's yeah, a lot of positions are interchangeable with offense and defense. So that's what's pretty cool about it. So you could be attacking while keeping someone in your guard while they're trying to pass or get into a better offensive position from within your guard. I guess, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
Uh,
It does.
so you get 3 points if you pass someone's guard. When you get into mount, like fully mount somebody, you get 4 points. When you have back control, you get 3 points. Or no, back control is 4 points as well. If you sweep somebody, so say you're in a bad position and you reverse the position, you get 2 points. And that's pretty much it for the point system. And depending on what level belt and what age division you're fighting in, as the times for each match in competition. So the black belt at the adult level, which is 18 to 29 years old, they have 10-minute matches.
Total 10 minutes, not per
No, total, yeah, 10
10-minute
minutes per
match.
match. Yeah.
Now, how is that broken up? Is it just a solid 10 you're going for it, or is it
Yes.
broken up into
No, so depending on the division, so if you're a black belt in the adult division and there's X amount of people in your bracket, you have, say you have to win 5 matches to get to the final. Each match is 10 minutes.
you're on for 10, go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you can submit your opponent or you get submitted before that 10 minutes is up.
So if they tap out literally,
Yeah.
then it's over. So
Yeah.
10 minutes of grapple, you're on.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
man, that's got to be tiring.
Yeah, there's at that at that length, of a match, there's some strategies to kind of pace yourself. So there's
That
ins
makes
and
sense.
outs.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. Now, currently, well, going back just recently as a blue belt, you please state the title you won, because that was the event you won, I should say.
Most recently, I won the International Masters North American Championship here
And
in Long Beach.
congratulations. That was
Thank you.
that was really cool to see online.
That was the most recent one, and then in January I won the European title, which was pretty cool. Yeah, my jujitsu journey has been crazy. It's taken me to Paris, France. That was the first time I had ever been to Europe, and I was able to bring my wife and kids with me.
I
So
was
that
going
was
to
cool.
say your daughters look like they were having some fun
Yeah,
over there.
yeah. Coming up, actually, at the end of this month, we'll be going to Tokyo, Japan for the Asian Championship. So we'll be making a trip out there.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I'm sure everybody's excited to go there.
yeah, very excited.
Now,
It's cool
are
being
you
able to.
competing as a purple belt there then?
Yeah, that'll be my first competition as a purple belt.
Going in as a purple belt, how drastic of a change is it going to be when you're prepping for that fight or
Uh,
that bout, I should say?
just speaking to my professors that have gone through it, they say that their techniques as a purple belt is more refined. So like you're more efficient. So preparing for it, there's honestly no pressure on me. I'm going in and I'm gonna fight my game, work my game plan, and what happens happens, because I just got my purple belt. So
So basically, you're a rookie again, but you did really
yeah,
well the year before.
yes, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. You restart once you're at a new belt. I have 0 points as a purple belt, so my number one ultra heavy ranking is no more. I'm back to square one. I have zero. I have no ranking, so just got to build my way back up.
You went from number one to 0 in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
That's what you get for getting those 4 stripes, huh?
yeah,
Congratulations, you are now 0.
yeah. Now you're the new guy again.
Being the new guy sometimes is not a bad thing though, because it gives you something to shoot for and helps you figure out goals for the future. Now,
Yes,
how do you set your goals looking forward?
I like to make long-term goals and short-term goals. Usually, my short-term goals are to improve certain positions. So, if I can improve one aspect of my game, those are like small short-term goals. I don't see myself stopping jujitsu even after I receive my black belt. My long-term goal, I guess, would be to, I guess, have a academy of my own so that I can teach
So
others.
that's going to be your retirement goal, huh?
Hopefully, yeah,
Hopefully.
later on down the line. But
Now, just tell me if we need to edit this out if the wife doesn't know yet, okay?
no, she knows what I want to
Okay,
do.
okay, just making
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, she knows what I want to do. I actually joke with her once she became an RN that I was going to retire from the sheriff's department so that I can focus on jujitsu, but
That's
that's
not
not
a bad
happening.
idea.
Yeah.
Now, setting these goals in jujitsu, I'm sure they've also, as you just mentioned, also helped you set goals in your personal life. I mean, obviously, using it potentially when you retire to focus on jujitsu and teach others. How else has this helped you set goals for your future?
We're just kind of moving from one, I guess, one spot in our lives to the next. I'm not really planning anything except for
Just
just that.
going with the flow right now.
Yeah, just that long term goal of having an academy and hopefully eventually making money off of it. But that way I can leave my current career and just focus on that. Other than that, I'm happy doing both. I've been lucky that I've been able to do both at a high level, and thankful for how I've been able to handle things,
Yeah.
and also be around for my kids.
Yeah, how fortunate are you that you can enjoy your family life, your work life, and then the new passion of jujitsu all at the same time? That's pretty cool.
I'm lucky that a lot of it overlaps too with my wife and kids being into it as well. So
Now, are all 3 of them taking jujitsu class and competing as well?
Claire and Aliana, my oldest, are taking classes. Claire's a blue belt actually.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah,
Almost caught up to
um,
daddy.
yeah, and Aliana, my oldest, I think you probably saw it on social media. She competed and won her first or her second tournament.
I did see that. That
Um,
was kind of cool.
yeah,
How happy
and then
was
my
daddy at that moment?
man, you saw the pictures and the videos, man. I was so proud.
Yeah.
Crazy, her game looks exactly like my game, so it's pretty cool that I can see that she watches how I fight because she fights exactly how I do.
Well, you better be careful. She might call you out on the mat one day.
Yeah, you know, another funny story. It was before her competition, and I was showing her a position. I told her, "Or this is side control. This is how you put pressure on somebody." And I wasn't putting all my pressure on her. Obviously, I was like, and I told her, "You're never gonna feel someone's pressure as heavy as Daddy's pressure." And she was like, "I felt worse."
Did you look at her? Yeah, that's mom. I get
Yeah,
it.
it was hilarious, and it's funny because her coach was standing there listening, just laughing. I was like, "She's right. I'm probably
That's so funny.
she's
That's
probably
so
felt
funny.
she's probably felt another 8-year-old kid with heavier pressure than me."
Moving forward, if you could talk to somebody and give them some advice about becoming a sheriff and finding your passion, whether that's jujitsu or something else, what would you tell them?
I would say find something that you really enjoy doing and that you really want to do, because some people choose certain things, certain careers for the wrong reasons, and they're not happy. For me, I chose to go into the law enforcement field because I genuinely wanted to help people. I wanted to be, I guess it's cliche, but I wanted to be the change that I wanted to see, in law enforcement. And I'm happy to say that I feel like I have made a difference in the people that I've made contact with and helped out. In terms of finding like an outside hobby, be open to anything. If um, if I wasn't open to getting beat up by a bunch of smaller dudes, I don't think I would have achieved what I have in jiu-jitsu this day. Just got to
Yeah.
keep showing up, be open to it, and the bug might bite you, and you might get sucked in. And I think it got me pretty good, and I'm sucked in for life.
Well, that bug has sucked you into the Masters, sucked you into Paris. It's about to suck you up to Tokyo. That's not a bad bug, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's exciting. And then watching your daughter follow in your footsteps, that's got to be just the cherry on top.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think we're gonna call it there. That was so good and so sweet being able to tie in your career, your passion, and then your family. And I know you personally. I know that's you. You're passionate about whatever you love, and those are the three things that you probably love the most, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Yeah.
coach.
Yep. No, I want to say thank you for joining us today on Wrap It Up Sports Medicine and More. I appreciate you. I appreciate your career choice and what you do for the community. I appreciate obviously your family. They're fantastic. But keep posting so I can appreciate how you are doing in your future. Because if I know you, you're going to do better every time. So thanks, Andrew. I appreciate you being here.
Thanks, coach. I look forward to seeing you soon.
All right. Have a good day, man. Take
All right, you
care.
too. All
Bye
right.
bye. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Want to make sure you hear every episode? Remember to like, follow, and subscribe to our podcast. Don't forget to share our podcast with your colleagues, family, and friends. Your support will help more people find and enjoy our content. Wrap It Up Sports Medicine and More is directed by Eli Halleck. It is produced by Gabriel Halleck. Our theme music is by Coma Studios via Pixabay. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are solely those of the contributors. Want to know more about us? Visit us at wrapituppodcast.com. That's with one P, wrapituppodcast.com. Wrap It Up Sports Medicine and More is a production of Halleck Consulting, LLC.